Some people believe that certain old buildings should be preserved more than others. What types of old buildings should be preserved? Do you think the advantages of preserving old buildings outweigh the disadvantages? It is sometimes argued that there are particular old buildings that should be preserved more than others. I believe that buildings that are of cultural and historic significance should be preserved, and this decision has more advantages than disadvantages. In my view, old buildings and ancient structures that are culturally and historically interesting should take precedence over those that are simply old and of little interest. Regarding historical buildings, preserving them is important because they can serve as a source of knowledge for students, historians, and future generations. As for culturally important buildings, they are vestiges of the past, and without them, it would be hard to imagine what our ancestors' life used to like. And this might greatly undermine a country's culture and the world's cultural diversity as a whole. I am convinced that the preservation of significant old buildings is advantageous in the aggregate. Of course, one might argue that too many financial and human resources are being directed towards maintaining and protecting these buildings, and that such resources should be reallocated for other crucial areas such as healthcare, infrastructure, and education. However, this thinking is flawed since buildings that are of interest can act as a catalyst for boosting tourism, and the economic benefit gained from preservation effort will likely recoup the initial investment many times over. For example, Ho Chi Minh's house is a magnet for tourists as it receives millions of both domestic and foreign visits annually. In conclusion, some old buildings are indeed of more cultural and historic importance than others and should be prioritized when it comes to preservation. I believe that the preservation of these structures has significantly more benefits than drawbacks.